Hello parents, Grace here with Amazing Parenting. Today we're going to talk about what to do if you've got a fussy eater as a child. Let me get my notes together and I'll be right back. Thank you. Okay, what to do if you have a fussy eater? Your child refuses to eat. Let's talk about it. First of all, most children go from milk to solids quite easily. They get weaned off milk onto solids, no problem. But what happens is children get lazy when it comes to chewing their food. Some children, they chew their food very slowly, or they leave the food in their mouth while they're looking around the room, or they're thinking about wanting to go off and play. And then with the food in their mouth, they then can feel the texture of the food. They then can feel the saliva around their food, and it's unpleasant to them. And that's when you get children saying they don't like the food, they don't want the food. But as parents, what we have to ensure is, one, obviously the child is not allergic to what we're giving them. That's first and foremost. But secondly, we have to understand that children have to go from milk to solids. They cannot stay on milk. And I remember with my daughter when she was very young, I used to give her obviously milk and then soft food. And whenever I gave her anything for her to chew, she'd gag, she'd cry, she'd complain, she'd say she didn't like it. You have to nip it in the bud early on, from when your child goes from milk to solids, around that 1 to 2 year old, 3-year-old range. Nip it in the bud when they start saying, I don't like it, it makes me feel sick, I can't eat it, I can't chew it. Cut your food up, cut your child's food up for them as small as they can. Make sure they're chewing their food and swallowing their food in a good time frame. They're not just sitting with the food in their mouth. Because what happens is they sit with the food in their mouth and they start complaining. They start wanting to go off and play. Time is taking long for them to finish a plate of food. But what we have to ensure is our children are getting a varied diet. They're getting their meat, they're getting their veg, they're getting their juice, they're getting all the things they need for them to grow and develop properly. So ensure that your children are getting the right foods. Secondly, don't let your children dictate to meal times. I remember when my daughter was young, she would decide what she wanted to eat, and I would cook one meal for the family and I'd cook something separate for her. And I'll leave a link below the book I wrote about, where I talk about her in the book, saying she doesn't want to eat this, she doesn't want to eat that, she doesn't like it, and crying and complaining about every meal I put in front of her. But you have to be the one to persevere as the parent, because children will want to eat sweets and chocolate and soft food all the time. You dictate meal times. Put the food in front of them, sit with them, and ensure they eat it. Praise them, tell them well done, that they're doing great. And once they finish the food, say, look, it wasn't that hard. But don't let your children dictate on what they're going to eat and what they're not going to eat. Because what happens is, as they get older, the struggle, the fight between you cooking what the whole family eats and what they want to eat gets harder. They'll dig their heels in longer when it comes to what they want to eat and what they don't want to eat. And then you'll find yourself every mealtime, your child is fussing over what they eat. Oh, I don't want that. I want chicken and chips. I want this. I want that. No. Set the meal in front of your child and insist they eat it. Don't bribe them. Don't complain with them. Don't fuss with them. Put the food in front of them and ensure that they eat it. If they don't eat it, let them know nothing else is coming. That sounds harsh, but it doesn't last long. Once your child knows you mean business and that there's no other meal coming, especially if you've been like me when my daughter was younger and I just kept bringing something else for her to eat, they get used to you going to get something else for them to eat. When your child realizes that you mean business and that nothing else is coming, that they will go to bed with nothing in their tummy, they will begin to eat what's set in front of them. They'll fuss, they'll complain, they'll cry, they'll gag. They'll do it for 1 or 2 meals. And once they realize this is what the family's eating, I better eat. No child will starve themselves on purpose. Children can't do that. So set the meal in front of your child and have them eat it. Sit with them. Make mealtime pleasant. You all sit together if you can and sit and eat together. But the most important thing is, one, your child gets a varied diet. Food that they chew up and swallow, food that is colourful, food that is varied. And secondly, they don't dictate what you're cooking. Yeah, there might be once or twice during the week you give them something that they like to eat. You know, you may say, okay, today we can eat something that Johnny likes or that Mary likes. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But when your child begins to dictate every meal time, they're moaning about cereal, they're moaning about toast, no. Nip all of that in the bud while they're very young, 2, 3, 4. It ends there. Don't let it exceed. They start school and they're still telling you they don't like this, they don't want this. No. Let your children know this is what the family is eating, this is what you're going to eat. When they know you mean business, they will stick to that and they will eat what you set in front of them. I hope that helps parents who have fussy children. Please go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell so every time I upload a video, you're one of the first to receive it. Okay? And remember, all parents can be great parents. It's a journey and we will get there. Thank you.